Now I'm just going to bring you guys a little bit of a rant today. I'm sure you guys have heard of slap fighting. What is this hot garbage? Okay, I can understand that it's some form of entertainment, but what I can't understand is how something like this is associated with the UFC. And the UFC itself, as a mixed martial arts organization, a reputable sport, is getting involved with something that doesn't represent what its own mission is. They're two polar opposites. I absolutely hate slap fighting with a passion. It's moronic. There's no skill involved. There's nothing like that. The fact that the UFC is associated with this could set it back like 5 years, in my opinion. I mean, I don't understand the appeal personally. So Dana White seems to be pushing this the most, and he has a lot of resources behind him, so he'll be able to keep this alive for a long time. You're going to have to get used to seeing Powerslap being promoted all over the UFC pages. I myself personally, for the first time in years, or the first time ever, have had to unfollow the UFC on Instagram. I've had to unfollow them on Facebook, and I'll follow a different UFC page that's from Australia because they tend to not promote the Powerslap sort of stuff. It's really going to damage their brand if they keep it up, in my opinion. The ratings have been absolutely terrible. It doesn't have anything to do with martial arts. There's no defense. You're just standing at a table and someone's slapping the crap out of you. There's no blocking. There's no actual skill involved here. There's no training for years and years and years. And some of these athletes are absolutely insane. They're rocking up, and I think they're getting paid like $3,000-$4,000, if that, to compete in this power slap competition. And just think of the brain damage you're going to cop. It's absolutely nuts, in my opinion. I don't understand it. I mean, after this video, I don't want to even talk about power slap again. I mean, what do you guys actually think of the whole thing? I find it absolutely bizarre, and I just don't get the appeal. Dana White seems dead set on it, and he thinks it's going to be the next big thing. I don't see how that's possible. And Dana White has just come out and said that they're looking to get this thing sanctioned with all the relevant bodies. And a journalist has done a lot of research into this, said that he's asked all the athletic commissions, are you planning on sanctioning Powerslap, or at least are you in talks to sanction Powerslap? And all of them said they have no idea what Dana White's talking about. So as we know, Dana White is just a habitual liar. The guy never stops lying. Everything that comes out of his mouth is BS. Even at post-fight press conferences within the UFC, everything that he gets asked from the press is 100% BS. I'm really not liking Dana White these days. I never took much of a liking to him over the last few years anyway, but this Powerslap thing has just put the nail in the coffin for me. Like, he's absolutely lost his mind. He's ruining parts of the UFC with this whole thing. You know, stop promoting it on your pages. None of your fans care about this. It's not really the same market. So he's risking alienating all of his fans, or all of the fans of the UFC, by promoting Powerslap. I've known multiple people that have unsubscribed from their social channels that just want to be completely done with it, that have blocked Powerslap, have tried blocking, and it still just appears. And they have no choice but to block the UFC. So I want all of your opinions. Like, how long do you think this Powerslap thing is going to last? Do you think like Dana White is going to actually prove everyone wrong here and make this thing like one of the next big things like the UFC did back in the day? Because don't forget, everyone did doubt Dana White back in the day when he got into business with the UFC when it first started out, and it was just style versus style, and it's transformed into something so much more. But I don't get how innovative you can be with a sport, and I use that term loosely, that is just involving one person slapping another person in the face. All I ask is that he stops promoting it on the UFC. But thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. I want to hear what you guys think of Powerslap, because I haven't heard one person say they actually like it yet. But anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.